Tonight, the federal government is taking unprecedented steps to deploy military forces to U.S. cities. The California National Guard has been deployed to Oregon. Local authorities report that protests against immigration enforcement operations are intensifying in Portland. In Chicago, a woman was shot and wounded during a confrontation with federal agents. The president insists the troops are necessary to ensure the safety of ICE officers. Critics claim authorities are seeking to create conflict situations to justify additional military interventions. We continue with the latest updates on this increasingly tense situation. Furthermore, while the president praises the Navy, there is no financial compensation for personnel, with negotiations completely stalled tonight. We'll analyze what to expect in the coming days. Despite recent hopes for legal proceedings, he is now under arrest. The latest developments in the Mark Sanchez case. New details are emerging about a deadly mass shooting in Alabama that sparked panic and stampedes among crowds. Watch this. Florida neighborhoods flooded, and the threat continues tonight along the coast. The desperate search. Bad Bunny speaks for the first time about the conservative controversy surrounding his Super Bowl halftime show performance, and there's some positive news tonight about kids designing special caps for their favorite quarterback, who is returning the favor to those who need it most. This is NBC Nightly News with Hallie Jackson. Good evening. We begin tonight with rising tensions over military deployments in Democratic-led states. And breaking news tonight, National Guard troops are on the ground in another Democrat-run city, this time Portland. As you can see, there are new protests and arrests overnight. It's not the Oregon National Guard that the White House is activating. That deployment was blocked by a judge in less than 24 hours. It's the California National Guard that the Trump administration is sending there now. Even as California threatens to sue tonight, and in Chicago, there were more consequences as protests that turned violent after a woman was shot by federal agents, allegedly while trying to ram her car into them. Tonight, the president, elderly people were arrested, and children were restrained with plastic ties. They are the ones turning this into a war zone. Maggie joins us live from the ICE detention facility near Chicago. We can see protesters gathering tonight. What's the timeline for the possible deployment of troops to Chicago? We have this small group of people here behind me. As for troop deployment, we're hearing it's imminent. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker said yesterday that the president plans to federalize 300 federal troops within the next 24 hours. Maggie Vespa, thank you. With those troops working without pay for now during this, Republicans say there will be no negotiations until Democrats reopen the government. We need the lights back on. Julia joins us from the White House tonight. Julia, one of the key data points going forward could be how Americans view the blame game in all of this. Absolutely, Hallie. It can always change the longer the shutdown lasts. But a new poll shows President Trump and Republicans receiving the largest share of the vote with 39%. 30% blame the Democrats. 31% say both parties are equally responsible. Julie, thank you. Melanie Zanona is on Capitol Hill for us. Mel, for any American who might expect a buzz of activity with pressure mounting on lawmakers, it's a far cry from that where you are, isn't it? Yes, it's very quiet here on Capitol Hill. The Senate has been away all weekend, but the Senate will hold another vote tomorrow on the GOP's stopgap funding bill. That bill is expected to fail for the 5th time, and meanwhile, House Republican leaders have decided to keep their members home all week. We're looking for signs of a breakthrough. 1. Are Democrats starting to break away and vote with Republicans to reopen the government? 3 Democratic senators have done so. 2. Is President Trump instructing Republicans to reach an agreement with Democrats on Affordable Care Act subsidies? So far, leadership in both parties isn't talking, but lawmakers say there have been quiet conversations among rank-and-file members. Melanie Zanona at the Capitol. Thank you. Senior officials are converging in the Middle East for key talks tomorrow. Tonight, the ceasefire talks have not silenced the guns in Gaza. Health officials here say dozens have died in recent days, even after President Trump warned Israel to stop bombing Gaza. We were happy and joyful, said this displaced man, but unfortunately, there is no translation on the ground. The Israeli leader and the president remain optimistic. They've begun negotiations. They'll last a couple of days. We'll see how it turns out. I'm hearing it's going very well. Prime Minister Netanyahu says he hopes to announce the release of the hostages in the coming days, long after Hamas murdered his son in captivity. I know these families. I don't want any of their mothers to be like me, and I'll be so happy and relieved for them when they have their children back in their hands, but his son will not be among them, a reality he has reluctantly accepted. Hamas murdered your son, and the terms of this agreement say that if you hand over your weapons, you'll be pardoned. What do you think about that? You know, nothing can bring Hirsch back, and I tend to look at this from a very detached perspective. I don't have this burning, poisonous anger that I think wouldn't serve me any purpose. Honestly, Hamas and Israel are sending senior delegates to negotiations that begin tomorrow in Egypt. The Star now faces misdemeanor assault and public intoxication charges. Aaron Gilchrist, NBC News. At least 2 people were killed and a dozen others injured in a mass shooting in downtown Montgomery overnight during the Alabama State Fair. Police say they believe one of the victims was the intended target, but things escalated when nearby people reacted by pulling out their own guns. Flooding threatens along Florida's east coast with high tides sweeping away entire neighborhoods. Here's Ryan Chandler. I haven't seen him like this in years. Look at that. High tides flooded neighborhoods in Florida this weekend, with parts of the region also drenched with more than 4 inches of rain since Friday. Some people are stuck in their homes until the tide goes down a bit because the streets are so full of water. Paul Dabble took these videos while driving through a flooded road. This is from the tidal surge. It's not even rain flooding. That's exactly right. It's just the tides. And in Utah, lightning lit up the night sky. Salt Lake City recorded its wettest day on record. We ran out of sandbags. Officials there say the rain damaged 28 residential structures. Back in Florida, the threat isn't over. Flood warnings remain in effect through tomorrow, with areas like Daytona Beach at risk of up to another inch of rain. Ryan Chandler, NBC News. Still ahead tonight, subway surfing turns deadly in one city and raises new questions about the role of social media in dangerous stunts from coast to coast. We're back with news of a deadly subway surfing incident in New York City. 2 girls died while riding on top of a train. As Erin McLaughlin reports, there's growing concern about so-called social media challenges that can turn dangerous, even deadly. Tonight, a new warning from New York City regarding the dangerous stunt known as subway surfing. 2 girls were found dead after playing the game, which involves riding on top of a moving subway car. While subway surfing has been a problem for decades, some argue that social media is helping fuel the latest surge in deadly stunts. New York City officials say that in the first 6 months of this year, more than 1,800 subway surfing videos have been removed. It's hard to see a child die like that, and the problem goes far beyond New York City, including this footage showing people riding an upside-down table strapped to a moving vehicle. In a similar stunt, a Pennsylvania teenager was charged with involuntary manslaughter after allegedly killing his 17-year-old friend, who had been sitting on the upside-down table. Prosecutors call it a dangerous TikTok challenge. In a statement to NBC News, TikTok says any content that promotes dangerous behavior that could lead to serious injury is a violation of our community guidelines and will be removed when NBC News searched for subway surfing on TikTok. The platform responded with this message. They're doing it maybe for a bit of prestige. But what's the point of it all if, it's over in a moment? Tonight, New York City's top transit official warns that the trend isn't surfing, it's suicide. Erin McLaughlin, NBC News. We'll come back to Latinos in a moment. Homeland Security has said that ICE will be at the Super Bowl. Also tonight, the desperate race against time to try to save nearly 1,000 people stranded on Mount Everest after a blizzard there. Camilla Bernal reports. A desperate race to rescue hundreds of hikers trapped near the world's highest mountain. A blizzard left nearly 1,000 people stranded on the eastern slopes of Tibet. I'm sure there's a sense of urgency. All hands on deck. Sub-zero temperatures and heavy snow put local villagers and rescue teams in a race against time. Alan Arnett is a mountaineering coach who has climbed Mount Everest. It's going to be a massive human effort to reach those people. While some have already been rescued, many are still reportedly trapped at an altitude of 16,000 feet. This hiker managed to get out, but some in her group are still recovering from hypothermia. She says the unexpected snowstorm was truly terrifying, adding that she was worried lightning could strike their camp and kill them. The monsoon caused snowfall on Friday night and Saturday, also bringing heavy rains to neighboring Nepal. Landslides and flash floods have killed at least 44 people, according to authorities. We don't normally see this type of major disaster happening this time of year, especially a blizzard of this magnitude. But Arnett says that when you approach Everest, you have to be prepared for anything. When we get back, there's good news tonight about the special gift these kids are giving to highlight their favorite quarterback. There's good news tonight about and it's time to shine alongside his favorite team. Go Bills! Go Bills! And that's Sunday Night News. You can watch Josh Allen and the Bills next on NBC. Tom will be back tomorrow. I'm Hallie Jackson. From all of us at NBC, thank you.